If you've been active in the speedrunning community for the past few weeks, you've probably heard of FlowBee. He's the person who got 2 sub-12s in one singular week. However, if you've been active in the speedrunning community in the past few days, you've definitely heard of FlowBee. Him getting the second ever sub-6 blind travel, almost world record, and being accused of faking almost all of his Minecraft speedruns. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my opinion of the story and explaining how bots were possibly used to fake FlowBee's Minecraft speedruns. To start this video, I'm going to be explaining who FlowBee is and the events that led up to these accusations of him cheating. FlowBee, formerly known as Toxic Flow, is a Minecraft speedrunner and content creator from the Netherlands. He has multiple sub-15 Minecraft speedruns, and until now, all of them have seemed pretty legit. But recently, people have noticed that he's been playing his runs pretty suspiciously. Recently, he's been really forcing really bad overworlds, making it seem that he knows there's going to be an almost perfect nether. This is what I'm going to start with, and explain how me and a few other Minecraft speedrunners believe that bots were used in the process of faking these speedruns. So, back to what I said before. FlowBee has recently been really forcing out super bad overworlds, making it look like he knows that there's going to be a really good nether. In his 11 minute and 32 second speedrun, he almost wastes an entire minute waiting for his portal to light using the woodlight technique. In most cases, speedrunners would use this technique for 10 seconds, and if it doesn't light, then they would reset. But as I said, FlowBee almost wastes a minute waiting for it to light, like he knows there's going to be an amazing nether. And to our surprise, there is an amazing nether. As he spawns in, he immediately sees a bastion and a fortress right next to each other. This isn't completely unheard of. Since bastions and fortresses can't generate in the same quadrant, if the bastion and the fortress are right on the edge of the quadrants, then there is a chance of them being very close by or forming inside of each other. Like I mentioned before, this isn't completely unheard of, but you still gotta have some serious luck to see this happen. And this is where me and another speedrunner and content creator known as Gus believe that bots were used in the making of these fake speedruns. Gus came up with the idea that FlowBee possibly used a program that determines whether your seed has a good or bad nether. These tools are entirely possible and anyone can use them. This is why Gus and I believe that he always forces his really bad overworlds, because it seems as if he has some sort of program to determine whether his nether is good or not. And if he knew it was a good nether, then he would do all that he can to force out the overworld. That's the end on why Gus and me believe that he always forces his overworlds whether they're good or bad. Next, I'll move on to how his 5:35 blind travel time was 100% cheated. He spawns into his world, and instead of mining the wood that's directly in front of him, he turns and goes straight to his shipwreck, which isn't totally abnormal, but it's still a bit suspicious. He gets 10 iron from the shipwreck chest, and uses it all, deciding not to make a flint and steel. I'm guessing he was high rolling for one in the ruined portal chest he could see in the middle of the ocean, but if there wasn't a flint and steel or a fire charge, then his run would have been dead right there. When he opens the ruined portal chest, obviously there is a light in there, which is pretty normal to happen. It's not unlikely that you're not going to get a flint and steel or a fire charge. But he also finds a looting 2-sword, which is absolutely insane to find and can speed up your nether by a super big time. He continues and enters the nether. Instead of looking around the nether, he walks straight to the bastion. Normally, FlowBee is pretty known for checking all around the nether, not missing any spots. But this time, he just walks directly over to the bastion. He does his trades and then he exits the bastion. He continues to go find the fortress, again, going in a pretty straight line. He gets his blaze rods pretty fast considering he has the looting 2-sword. Then he goes and makes his blind portal. He does a distance check and fails it miserably, as 11 billion mentioned in his video. Even though he doesn't know his real distance from the stronghold, he still absolutely nails the blind. He continues to go a few hundred blocks in the nether, and then build his second blind portal because he got over 20 obsidian in the bastion. As he exits his blind portal, you can almost immediately see an open exposed stronghold. Now, 11 billion mentioned in his video that if you blinded at these exact chords on this exact seed, that your eyes of ender would point you to a complete different stronghold, proving that this was a set seed and that the video was spliced together. Now I'm going to move on to the last segment of this video, explaining how he always forces 20 obsidian for calculated travel, always messes up his calculated travel but still nails the blind, and how every single run he has always has an insane blind. As I mentioned, he always forces 20 obsidian for calculated travel, but as 11 billion mentioned in his video, it doesn't even matter that he does calculated travel, because he always messes up his calculated travel and doesn't know the real angle or distance to the stronghold. But yet still managing to pull off an insane blind travel almost every run. You can see in his second sub-12 speedrun that he's really extremely forcing 20 obsidian, so he can do his really scuffed calculated travel. And it's not just this run. He has had multiple runs where he extremely forces 20 obsidian so he can do his calculated travel. And as I have mentioned a few times now, and 11 billion mentioning in his video, he completely messes up his calculated travel, but still manages to get an insane blind travel. Now, this could just be luck, but this is almost an immeasurable amount of luck. Him getting such fast runs so often and getting super good blind travel times is just some insane luck. Even if this was the case, he has sent moderators world files, and the moderators have been able to determine that these runs have been faked. No matter what FlowBee does now, he can't get out of the drama that he's already gotten himself into. And that's my opinion on the story. I do believe 11 billion, and obviously everybody else has been involved in proving this point, that FlowBee has cheated in one way or another. If there is any more news in the next few days, I might release another video on this topic. If you would like me to make a more in-depth video on this topic, then let me know and I'll try and get it out as soon as I can. But that's all I've got for today in terms of all this drama with FlowBee. Go subscribe to Gus for helping me out with this video. And if you enjoyed, also consider subscribing to me. I would really appreciate it. I make content like this all the time, and it always gives me a warm feeling in my heart when somebody else subscribes. Thanks for watching, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. Goodbye, everyone.